Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another music therapy podcast. I am Holly Dale. And before I continue, let me turn off the music. There we go. Okay. All right. So my name is Holly Dale, and I'm a musician, and I'm with my father, who is a licensed mental health counselor, and his name is Toby Holly.
Nice to meet you.
And yeah, this is the music therapy podcast that we do pretty much every Wednesday. We go over a song. And it's either a song that we found or a song that the audience has recommended for us to look at. And we go through and we kind of analyze the song and go through on how the song can help you go through some issues that maybe you are going on in your story right now. So yeah, all right. This is episode 12. And for episode 12, we have a fun song for you guys. And do you remember the name of the song?
Look What You've Done by Tasha Layton.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, that's the song we're going to look at today. And while I'm getting everything set up, he's going to give a really brief rundown of kind of what we'll be looking at today and maybe a little bit about what the song is about.
That sounds great. Yes, so like you said, Holly and myself, Toby. And
he's my dad, by the way. I don't know if I said that.
That's right. And I am a counselor by trade. Holly is a musician. Mm-hmm. And we thought we would put our professions together in a podcast where there's this beautiful kind of ministry between music and counseling. That's a developing deal in the therapeutic industry.
That is so true. I love talking about that. That music therapy is kind of making like its appearance now in normal like therapy sessions.
Yeah, in the last couple
of
years, it's a legitimate, more mainstream kind of thing. It's quite beautiful. So we thought we would examine songs that would be very useful in therapeutic settings and maybe useful to you. In your own personal life. That's
the ultimate goal.
Sort
anyway.
Of the genius. So Tasha wrote this song in, I believe it was April.
Yeah.
I want to say 2022.
2021. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, 21. Okay. So Look What You've Done is the title. And it's a song that emphasizes transformation. And I really think it does have a strong therapeutic value to it. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to go through it.
Yeah, I know. I've heard this song, I think, once or twice, just kind of like in my own time. But I've definitely heard this song on the radio, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
On Caleb and that sort of thing, especially on the morning to like church. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I really wanted to look at this song today because just as you said, I do think it does talk about like transformation and healing and kind of what we can dive into that. So let me go ahead and pull up this song here. Okay, so typically what I like to do is I play the song for us, and then we'll probably stop after like every verse and chorus, and then just kind of run down what the lyrics are talking about or what we think the lyrics could help you with.
Sure.
And I typically like to just read the lyrics as we go through. So yeah, fair warning, that is what we're doing.
Good plan.
Okay, so all right, here is the song. There we go. So yeah. We'll go until verse 1 is done.
Okay.
And then we'll dive into the lyrics.
Look what you've done. How could you fall so far? You should be ashamed of yourself. So I was ashamed of myself. The lies I believed, they got some roots, they run deep. I let him take a hold of my life. I let him take control of my life.
Okay, that was verse 1. Let's go and just pause it there. I love the song so far. Immediately when I heard this, I don't know if she classifies it as a worship song, but I feel like a lot of the songs I've started in church kind of have that like drum beat in the background, you know what I mean? Before like the chorus, and that's kind of cool. I love hearing that. The way she wrote that. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the lyrics here.
Okay.
So verse 1, what we just heard was verse 1, and verse 1 reads, "How could you fall so far? You should be ashamed of yourself. So I was ashamed of myself. The lies I believed, they got some roots that run deep. I let them take a hold of my life. I let them take control of my life." Yeah. I love how that the third line, it was kind of talking about I felt like somebody was telling her that. You know what I mean? Either that was like an internal thought of hers, or somebody was telling her like, you should be ashamed of what you've done or whatever. And then the next line was like her agreeing with that, like I should be ashamed of myself.
My guess is just kind of hanging out with people for 20 years. Usually it is somebody that says that to you, and then after a while you start saying it to yourself.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
usually the way it works.
Yeah. Okay. So, was there anything that you wanted to say about verse 1?
Yeah, I think verse 1 to me kind of sets up the song, and emphasis here on lies, and the word picture was like roots that run deep down into your person. I would even say like deep down into your soul, like they're lies, but you believe them like they're truth. And clearly, if you believe something that's not true, that's not going to go well.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I think that's probably the emphasis, and she's just maybe revealing that is, some sort of trauma or horror that she's been dealing with deep down inside, probably secret, kind of a like held like subconsciously or something. That would be my guess. And so like just
true.
verse 1. So what she's doing is kind of telling us where she is and was, and then you'll see the song makes this dramatic shift towards transformation, because that's the emphasis of the song. So verse 1 is what was being transformed out of.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, and I feel like for me, this song is kind of speaking directly to moments where maybe somebody feels like overwhelmed by shame or lies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
But it's kind of comforting to know that you are not alone in that. Even in your darkest moments, God's truth can like set us free. You know what I mean? That's
definitely.
that's kind of the message so far that I'm hearing with it.
Yeah.
And I like so far too in the lyrics how it's kind of maybe painting a picture or like telling a story a little bit.
That's
yeah,
true.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's kind of leading to, like, she's painting a picture of, like I said earlier, somebody telling her she should be ashamed of herself, or she should be, and then she agrees with that thought. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I don't know. For me, when songs kind of tell a story like that, I feel more personal connected to it, because, for me, it, like, draws my attention to it, if that makes sense.
It could kind of be any of us.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that was verse 1, and now we're going to go ahead and jump into the pre-chorus, and I'm pretty sure the drums actually pick up in here, if I remember. Let's see. Okay, let's turn down the volume so I don't like
Blow everybody.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on, actually. I'm gonna back it up just a little bit. That was a little bit into the
I let him
pre-chorus.
take control of my
There we
life.
go. Okay.
Standing in your presence, Lord, I can feel you digging.
Oh no, that was a guitar, not the drums. I was hearing the bass or electric guitar. Yeah.
All I can say is hallelujah. Look what you've done.
Okay, so that's the chorus. We'll get there in a second. Oh my gosh, the chorus there is really pretty. I like that.
Yes.
Okay, but yeah, that was the pre-chorus.
Pre-chorus.
So let's go ahead and read that for us.
Okay.
So the pre-chorus says, "Standing in your presence, Lord, I can feel you digging all the roots up. I feel you healing all my wounds up. All I can say is hallelujah."
Wow.
Yeah, so that's the pre-chorus. That's good.
That's good. Standing in your presence is kind of like the first line of the pre-chorus. We just moved away from verse 1, which talks about the shame, the lies.
Right.
And we immediately move into, I'm going to say, the change agent for her, which is standing in his presence. And I love the just the responsibility that she's taking by probably humbly going into his presence.
Yeah,
And
that's
then trusting him that he can do something with her, for her. She begins to describe the experience.
yeah, it's like a tangible kind of like healing experience, right? Yeah. I think it kind of reminds me that God, he's actively working in our life. He's kind of like uprooting the negativity and the pain and kind of turning it into something that's like beautiful. You know what I mean? I think it's kind of like a powerful reminder to stay in his presence and to trust the process. That's kind of like, for me, what the pre-chorus is kind of leading up to. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes
Kind of.
sense.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. To be faithful, patient.
Yes. Yeah.
Trust.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna turn up the gain just a little bit. There we go. All right. So now we're going to jump into the chorus. I'm going to back it up just a little bit so we can hear that transition from the pre-chorus to the chorus, because that was kind of cool. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, this is like halfway into the pre-chorus. Yeah.
All I can say is hallelujah. Look what you've done. Look what you've done in me. You spoke your truth into the lies and letting my heart believe. Look at me now.
I like the energy for this song.
Yeah.
Made me new. The enemy did everything that he could do. Oh, but look what you've done.
Ooh, fun. I love the chorus there. That was cool. I mean, the choir, not the chorus. I mean, I like the chorus, but you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. Okay. Yeah, you know what I love about every time I feel like I hear a choir in a song? I feel like there's a sense of community there.
Oh, yeah, that's
you know what
true.
I mean? Every time I hear like a powerful part of a song and like it transitions to a bunch of people, that's just, I don't know. That's what reminds me of like community. So, okay, let me go ahead and read the chorus for us, then we can jump into some analysis here. Okay, so the chorus reads, "Look what you've done. Look what you've done in me. You spoke your truth into the lies I let my heart believe. Look at me now. Look how you made me new. The enemy did everything that he could do, but look at what you've done." That's cool. I like that. I like how it leads to that last line, you know? Really powerful.
I like the word picture that was introduced in the pre-chorus about the roots, you know, and so God is digging out those lies, you know, those deep roots that go down into her, and and with the lies, he is replacing with truth, and I think the chorus really emphasizes the presence of truth, and it's his truth, and you know, like, okay, truth, what are you talking about? Well, like, I mean, if one of the lies were, you know, you're not worthy, or you don't matter, or you deserved it, or you know, you should be ashamed. I mean, if that's the lie, then God or Jesus has something to say about that, and his position would be the truth. And obviously, you know, he'd be speaking in terms of worth and dignity, and love and rescue. And so she's just emphasizing I guess the impact of the truth that's being kind of poured through her. That's my takeaway from the chorus.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, I feel like also the chorus is kind of like, I think this is kind of like drawing from the choir. It's like an anthem of victory. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's good.
Like right there toward the end, I felt that like the phrase "Look what you've done." That was a really good decision, actually, to like put the choir on that last phrase. Really emphasizes what she's saying and tying in that thought there, like you said. And I also think it's so amazing to see how God's truth can transform and renew us, no matter what the enemy throws our way. And I feel like it's such an uplifting and powerful message that is like kind of reminding us of God's faithfulness and love, just like you were talking about. So
there's also a reference to the enemy, and I think it's the second to the last line. You know, where the
second to the last one.
I don't know, what did she say? The evil one or something?
Well, the enemy did everything that he could do.
Yeah. And so, I mean, just obviously, it's not been easy. And the enemy is out to get her type of deal. And but you know what? He wasn't successful. Look what you've done.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of the message.
Okay. So, and that was the chorus, right? Yeah, we just looked at the chorus. And now we're going to jump into verse 2.
Okay. Good.
And verse 2 is pretty short. But I think we'll just go ahead and do that because the pre-chorus kind of blends in, I think, to the chorus. So, all right. So here is the verse 2.
But I was too broken, now I see.
Oh, no, hold on. Oops. There we go.
You've done. Suddenly all the shame is gone. I thought I was too broken, now I
love when
see.
songs take
You
the
were
energy
breaking
back a
new
little
ground
bit.
inside
Like
of
things they want to
me.
emphasize.
Standing in your presence, Lord, I
Okay,
can
that's
feel
the
you
pre-chorus.
taking all my
Yeah, it was kind of quick, but I do feel like it would be good to just digest what verse 2 was.
Yeah,
And of
agree.
course I was talking over it, so that's fine. I'm just going to read. I'm going to read what it was. Okay. So verse 2 reads, "Suddenly all the shame is gone.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was too broken. Now I see you were breaking new ground inside of me." That's what I wanted to look at too, that
Sure.
line. You
That's
were
fun.
breaking new ground inside of me. I wanted to see what you thought about that.
Yeah, it's a fun little play on words there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Suddenly all the shame is gone. So the verse 2 is just 3 lines.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think the first verse is kind of fun in its own right because it kind of shows us what happens when you take God's truth and you begin to stand on it or believe it or accept it, and now there's no reason for shame. So what would happen to shame if there's no reason for it? Well, you suddenly stop feeling it.
True. Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Yes, and that I think is the a big part of the transformation. So line 1 is kind of fun. I mean, and then line 2, she talks about, she thought she was broken. That, of course, is a reference to her own identity, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then line 3 is super fun. Turns out though, you were actually using all this stuff in a way to break me in on doing like new and different things. Which for me, I took that as in like a sense of purpose. Some kind of new sense of purpose, direction in life. And whatever bad thing it was, I get the sense that now it has transformed into a kind of strength.
That's
like
true.
A new way of thinking and operating. That's amazing. So verse 2 it may be short, but
it's powerful.
Has,
yeah.
A lot. Yeah.
That's why I wanted to pause and kind of break it down because I knew that there was a lot that we could unpack there.
Yeah.
And I think also kind of realizing that shame, like you were saying, has no hold on us anymore is like incredibly liberating. And I feel like sometimes we're so broken, but we just know that God will always work it out, no matter what. He is breaking new ground and creating something new, and beautiful within us. You know what I mean? And I think that's important to kind of remind us, to remind ourselves of that, that our brokenness can be a place of new beginnings. It's not just the end of the road, because sometimes things can definitely feel like they're the end of the road. You know what I mean? And I just love that verse kind of reminded me of that and the idea of to continue moving forward and to not let it completely break you. Yeah. So that was cool. I wanted to pause there for verse 2 because I knew you'd have some good stuff to unpack with it.
Cool.
Okay, and now we're going to jump into the pre-chorus, and I think I wrote here that it repeats.
Yeah, this is.
So,
I mean, we could hear part of it if you want, but it's an awful lot of the song beautifully is the pre-chorus and the chorus just kind of repeated, and so I think you would see that next.
Yeah.
Before the bridge.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and look at it. Let's see. If it's repeated a lot, I'll skip forward just a little bit so we can get to the bridge.
Sure.
Yeah.
All I can say is hallelujah. Look what you've done.
Yay, the choir again.
Look what you've done in me. You spoke your truth into the lies and let my heart believe.
Yeah, that's why I feel like this would be a really good worship song for a church. You know what I mean? I don't think we've ever sung this one though in church, I'm not sure. And the drum too. I love the drum. That's cool. Oh, this is the bridge, yeah. Okay. I'll pause it after this. I love that. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, let's go ahead and pause it. But yeah, I love what the bridge was doing there. Even though I feel like the instrumentation, there may not be a lot of instrumentation there, the energy is still very much so there. That's just kind of cool to see. Like, even though I feel like there's less instruments throughout the whole song, I feel like that had most of the energy. And probably what's bringing that out is like the choir, which is really cool. I love that. The choir is kind of like the main focal point there. That's fun to see in a song. But yeah, okay, let's go ahead and read the bridge and then we will jump into some thoughts. Okay, so the bridge reads, "On the cross, in the grave, with a stone rolled away, all my debt, it was paid. Look what you've done. In my heart, in my mind, in my soul, in my life. With my hands lifted high, I'm singing, look what you've done.
Yeah, there's a lot to this.
There's a lot. Yeah, there is a lot.
You and I have regularly celebrated the bridge of a song.
True.
And here again, this is no exception. I mean, it's a
true.
really cool bridge. All right, I got a question for you. So, who
Wait, for me?
for you.
Okay.
Who is the first person ever to deliver the gospel message? Who?
Oh, no.
Just take a guess at that.
I don't know. You're putting me on the spot.
I don't mean to put you on the spot.
I don't know.
I'll tell you.
You tell me.
It's one of my favorite people in the Bible.
Oh, okay.
It's Mary of Magdalene.
Oh my gosh, I knew that. I knew
I knew
that.
All right, and look.
VBS and failed me.
No. And so that's the scene that she's actually describing right there is the Garden of Gethsemane. You know, the cross, the stone rolled away.
I feel like that's obvious now that I'm looking at it.
That's actually the garden scene. So it's really, really cool. And of course, I just couldn't help but think of Mary of Magdalene, which is incidentally, and I won't get lost in it, I promise, it's Mary of Magdalene. So her last name is not Magdalene. That's actually the town she's from. That's how they were distinguishing Mary.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of Marys. So she's just one of the Marys. So Mary, Mary of Magdalene. Oh, that Mary. Yeah,
okay,
that Mary.
gotcha.
Right, that's how they did that. That's how they did it. So, yeah, so the bridge really puts a focal point there on just the scene of Jesus and just his redemptive power. Okay, and then the next thing that happens in this bridge is really kind of crazy.
What?
So as a counselor, I work with people and I deal with a lot of, we'll just say they're invisible parts, okay? Like your thoughts are invisible, your emotions are invisible, your heart's invisible, your mind is invisible. I mean, you know, most of the material that we're working with is, you know, this intangible part of yourself, but it's very real parts of yourself, okay? And so right there in the bridge, she's, you know, addressing the parts of a person's identity, you know, your mind and your heart, your soul. I was like, wow, that's cool. And the whole person is being transformed. That was my takeaway from the bridge. She's just celebrating that whole person transformation, basically from Jesus in the gospel.
Oh, that's cool.
That's what's going on the bridge.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, that's really cool. I do think that the bridge, now that you kind of pointed that out, kind of does tie everything back to the cross and like the ultimate symbol of God's love and sacrifice, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it's a reminder that our debt is paid and that we are set free. And I feel like it fills me with like gratitude and awe. And I think partly why I thought the choir was cool too is I was kind of getting that like gratitude and awe. You know what I mean? I feel like especially back in the day, like I'm thinking maybe like Southern Baptist, there's like a lot of like a choir emphasis. That's kind of like the feeling when you go into the church and you sit down and there's like hymns being played. Yeah. It's just kind of like this sense of like awe and wonder whenever like they're singing the hymns and it's all together and it's just beautifully put together. You know what I mean? And I kind of feel like it's leading into worship and it kind of just makes me want to like, you know what I mean? Like lift your hands in praise is essentially what I was trying to say. Yeah. So that's the vibe I'm getting from the bridge. And I think the choir really draws into that, which is fun. I love that they use that as a concept for the song. So, yeah. Okay. That was the bridge. Do we want to go through and just listen to the chorus? I think
the rest of it is just, you know, kind of the same elements. So we could if you want.
You decide. You get to pick. Do you?
Let's move into the next part. I think it's almost finished the song. So.
Yeah, okay. So we got the gist of the song. So that's great. All right. So that was our kind of detailed take into Look What You've Done by how do you say it?
Tasha Layton.
Tasha Layton. Okay. Yeah, so that was kind of like our deep kind of like overview when we looked into like the individual verses and chorus and the bridge. And so now we get to this part of the podcast, which is always fun to get to. And I always like to ask 2 questions. So the first question I like to ask, which is for Toby here.
I'll do my best.
For my dad.
I'll do my best.
Is the first question is, so what exactly is the overall message that we can take as an audience member from the song? So it's the overall message. And then the second thing is how can we then apply that using music therapy for our own story? So how can we use the song for ourselves to kind of debrief what we got going on?
Okay.
Yeah. So those are the two questions. So take it away.
Like I said, I'll do my best.
Thank you. You'll do fine.
I think the overall message would be hope. Hope.
I agree. Yeah, that's true.
And and I appreciate just the persistent message of hope that I think the song brings.
Yeah.
And hope how? Hope in Christ. And it's through Him that we are able to be well and transformed, even from things that you can't imagine being transformed from. So I think that's the overall message, and almost maybe a promise.
Okay. Yeah.
And then probably let me just say a few other things before I get up to its concrete use. Maybe I'll answer the question, who might best benefit from concentrating on this song. And while of course anybody,
right.
I would say if you're struggling with low self-worth, I think that probably would be
no self-worth and like shame.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that if that's a prominent message or struggle, this song deals with that directly. So that's a thing. And then trauma, if there's been an accident or some really big loss or hardship, trauma. I think the song is lovely in the sense that it tries to reach us in that space.
Okay.
And then even if there is something very hard that you're dealing with in the spiritual dimension, it could even be grief and loss or something. I think the song has some real merit to that too. So I mean, those are just a couple little areas, but for sure that's not like an exhaustive list or anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I guess for the first question, the overall would be self-worth, shame, trauma, or if you're struggling with like spiritual like abuse, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
So yeah, those are like kind of the main three maybe that would be like the most helpful for this. Okay, so that's the first question. So now the second question, what can we do that now that we know that that's something that we struggle with? Okay, how do I then take this song and like debrief that? How do I do that?
Well, so remember in music therapy, music is this really cool thing. It brings both a mood and a message. And so sort of kind of always remember that. And that's what makes it so powerful. When you take a song and its lyrics and you pass it through the deep instrument of music, it can pour down into those invisible parts I talked about, all the way down into your heart and your soul. And so that's kind of the front end of the question. And so what is a concrete thing? Well, to me in the song I heard an emphasis on lies contrasted against truth. And so I think a really good use of this song would be listen to it and begin to discern what are your lies. And write that down. And then take the time to try and work out what are Jesus's point of view with this lie. What is Jesus' truth? And then there would be this remarkably beautiful prayer kind of exercise where you would maybe every day for even weeks, you would take that thing you wrote, maybe like in a journal, and you would listen to the song, kind of pray and meditate on the song and the lyrics, and begin to try and take the truth instead of the lie, and let that be transformative to you as a concrete step. So for sure I could say other things that one could do with the song, but I mean, if I were really going to just choose one, that would be, I think, the chief instrument that this song could help you with, transforming the lies by concentrating on the truth.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Good job. You did great with that. All right. So those were the just kind of like overall views and points and thoughts that we had about this song, which again, the name of the song was Look at What You've Done by Tasha Layton. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. We like to go through and just like dive into different songs and be able to point out different things that maybe y'all could find helpful when listening to the music. And we always like to take just like different ideas or different questions. If you have about the song, let us know. Or if there's other songs that you would like us to look at, you can let us know too. We'll take a dive into those as well.
That'd be great.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This was the 12th episode of the Music Therapy Podcast.
Dozen.
I know, we have a dozen now. And I want to go through and actually put out some worksheets and stuff like that at some point. I have not done that yet. I have to figure out how I'm going to do that. I'm either going to set up like, I don't know, a Patreon or something, or like an email list somehow that we can get it out to people. Because I've had a few people reach out actually to me and ask for those. So I want to make that readily available for you guys.
Yes,
Blech, words.
yes.
But yeah, and that'll be available soon, and I'll let you guys know when that will be. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. We had so much fun looking at this song today. It was a good song, this one. I enjoyed looking at this one.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But yeah, okay, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And we will see y'all next Wednesday for another Music Therapy Podcast.
Yay.
Okay, bye guys. Oh, I gotta play the music. Okay, bye.
Look what you've done. How could you fall so far? You should be ashamed of yourself. So I was ashamed of myself. The lies I believed, they got some roots that run deep. I let them take a hold of my life. I let them take control of my life. Standing in your presence, Lord, I can feel you digging all the roots up.